say he's got that look, that cold steel glare. They scream fascist cause he's a rich billionaire. But tell me, where's his army? Where's his one-party decree? A man who's saving money ain't Gestapo to me. 1933 Berlin, the Reichstag burned. Blame deplorables, grab control, lessons aren't learned. When speech gets silenced and words get banned, ain't it funny who's holding the matches in hand? When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlled in freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind of Reich? He builds his cars, he mines the stars. No gulags for critics, no bureaucratic charge, no youth brigades chanting his name. Yet somehow he's taking all the blame. 1933 Berlin, the Reichstag burned. Bring up race, grab control, lessons aren't learned. When thought gets silenced and merit gets banned, ain't it funny who's holding the matches in hand? When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlled in freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind of right? National Socialist, funny that name, yet markets and choice they always disdain. Control the press, rewrite the past, cancel today for sins of the past. You say you're progressive, marching ahead, but history whispers you're painted in red. So call him a tyrant, call him a fraud, call him a villain, a tech demigod. But history's pen, when written true, will just be pointing its finger at you. Who's got the wrong kind of Reich? Who's got the wrong kind of Reich? History's pen, when written true, will just be pointing its finger at you.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important. Some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlled in freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind of right?
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully my microphone is operating correctly. Give me a 5x5. Somebody let me know. Make sure this thing isn't too, loud, because I can just turn my voice down like that if I need to. Go into sexy voice mode. All right, guys. I didn't have time to change the intro video, and someone said they didn't like the one I did yesterday, so I put it back on the one that you did like. But it is what it is. Don't expect me to do this like every stinking day. This is not video, roulette video, whatever it may be. It's just an intro to help you guys get your day started. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and knock out the roll call. Pilgrim, first, Rose Stoller. Number 2, Cindy Hoffman. You are deterred. I will put one more time. I will put the poll question in the chat here shortly. And let's see here. We've got Catitude, Deanna, not a sponsor. All righty then. Looks like William got a little confused, but that's okay. That's the way this works. We live and we learn. We got Rose, we got Tim, we got Pamela Prepper. How's my yard? Got Ian's in the house. My second life is here. Bradley Collins, Tuck is here. Where we got here? And you guys talking? Deanna, Jesse P has showed up. Nice to see you, bro. We got Rose Stoller and Bradley is. I liked yesterday's better. Of course you did, Bradley. Volume does seem low today. All right, hold on a second. And I've made an adjustment. Jesse, how does the volume sound now? I will play with this thing until I really don't want this. This is my favorite microphone, guys. It's been with me for like forever, and it does the job. It makes very good sound. It makes very good sound. All right, so with all the introductions, the roll call has been sent to the vice principal. So if you are late, you deal with the guy. He's a hard ass. He's a hard ass. All right, so let's see here. Hey Blaine, good morning, my friend. Good morning. Your package went in the mail yesterday. I will send you your tracking number here shortly. I tried doing this morning, but I got the receipts mixed up, and you don't want the tracking number for the last winner. You want the tracking number for your winnings. All right, let's see here. It's about the same, man. I just don't know what is going on here. What is going? Try. I just cranked it up even more on the software itself, so maybe that'll help. If it gets too scratchy or crazy, let me know. All right. So with that said, guys, the great Trump tariff wars have begun. I'm going to be doing a short video on this here probably in the next 24 hours. But there's a lot of China's fighting back. China's really fighting back, and people are like, well, if China did it, then we'll fight back too. And so they're really trying because they're hard headed. They're just hard headed. And you guys are going to start to hear um, about a term called decoupling. Okay, it means to decouple, like we were coupled and then we decoupled and detached and we floated away separate distances in space. But decoupling is an economic term used in international economics. So you're going to start hearing more of that. This is really what Trump is doing. He's decoupling us from these other countries that have been taking um, advantage of us. I'm a bro now. Jesse, I'm sorry, Jesse, we just don't talk enough. Josefina, okay, is that better, Jesse? I'm a bro now. Everybody's a bro to me. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? So my second oldest son calls his wife. He's like, hey, what's up? Hey, dude. It's let's see here. It's on your end. You're blasting now. Jesus. Sound is much better now. Well, uh, I don't know. I can't. It's getting difficult to please everybody. It's truly getting difficult to please everybody. I think I need to do like a test video, like when you guys, the kind of video where you guys can't see what I'm doing, because we did that test video yesterday, which I appreciate everybody participating in, and it worked out well. So, okay, so um, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. And the big thing that we have to be careful, because what is happening could cause an economic collapse. Probably not global, but local. All right. And so we've got to talk about and think about the early warning signals to an economic collapse. Now, with that said, I prefer, hey, girlfriend. Hey, JP, you're good, bro. I am just teasing. Let's see here. Let's see. These countries seem to be refusing to accept the fact that the Clintons aren't in office. Yeah, that's true, Tuck. That's true. Yeah, this is unfortunately this is something that's happening. They don't want this to happen, so they're going to fight it. The smart people have been like, oh no, he's serious. Anyway, so let's stay on point. Let's stay on point. I got a lot of ground to cover here. Okay, so I got to drink me some piping hot coffee. Oh, it's so good for my soul. It's so good for my dark soul. All right, so total economic and social collapse. It's going to represent a catastrophic breakdown of critical systems, like government, economy, infrastructure, and even basic services. You know, while extreme, we have to recognize the early warning signals and know that they can provide vital preparedness. uh, you know, um, Observations of Venezuela's ongoing crisis, alongside references to Cuba's struggles, illustrate a failed state clinging to remnants of functionality amid fear of uprising. Now, Venezuela's economy, arguably dismantled by design to suppress opposition, offers insights into indicators of collapse. Now, research highlights expected patterns, but also reveals subtler signals worth noting. So, one of the problems that I run into is I talk to people and they don't understand what I'm saying. So before we get too deep into this, before we get uh, too deep into this, I never felt connected to Jessica, so I always have gone by Jesse. I got you, Jessica. All right, I'll try to remember that. That might actually help me. That might actually help me. All right, so like I said, before we get too deep into things, let's cover some basic definitions. Yes, class is in. Okay, so take notes, pay attention. There will be a test at the end. First one, inflation. So, inflation is, excuse me, is the sustained increase in general price levels of goods and services in an economy over time, resulting in a decrease in the purchasing power of money. Its root cause often includes something called demand pull inflation, where consumers' demand outpaces supply. This is something that we're going to see when the Chinese junk stops coming across our borders, when stops getting shipped in, when the $1.25 tree store turns into the $1.50 tree store. We're going to see where the consumer demand is going to outpace the supply output. Right? This is going to drive prices up. Then there's something called cost push inflation, where rising production costs, such as wages or raw materials, force businesses to increase prices. There we go. And monetary factors like excessive money supply growth due to central bank policies, which will devalue a currency. Additionally, external shocks such as supply chain disruptions or geopolitical events like what we're going through right now, and government policy like tariffs or subsidies can exacerbate inflation pressures by altering what we call market dynamics. Now, all those big words basically means that prices are going to go up. They're going to go up. All right. And right now, we're moving into an inflationary period because of the Trumps, but I honestly feel it's going to be temporary. It's going to be temporary. All right. Let's see here. So, the next thing we need to talk about, or you need to understand, is deflation. Okay. So deflation is a sustained decrease in the general price of the general price level of goods and services in an economy. This is often leading to reduced customer spending and economic stagnation. Its root causes typically include a decrease in aggregate demand, where consumers and businesses cut back on spending due to factors like high debt, unemployment, or pessimism about the future. Additionally, an increase in the supply of goods through technological advancements or overproduction can outpace those demands, pushing prices down. Central banks might also contribute by maintaining overly tight monetary policies, reducing the money supply, and making borrowing more difficult, which further suppresses demand and reinforces your deflationary pressures. Now, the easy way to remember deflation in our particular situation is that the when the products get here, they're going to try and pass off all of the tariffs that they had to pay to get here onto the consumer, and the consumer is going to go, "Oh hell no! I am not paying. I'm not paying $10 for that trinket. I'm not. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be paying for. Let's see what comes out of China that we actually use. I'm not paying $70 for that pup tent that was $10 last week. That's not happening. And those things are going to sit there on the shelves, and that is what they call deflation. Um, Unfortunately, that's going to force them to stores to do a lot of things. Stores are actually going to start like, well, we had to buy this pup tent for $65 and we're selling it for 70 now so we can make money to keep the lights on. And if we can't sell that pup tent, then we cannot keep the lights on. You see what I'm saying? This is how it affects. China is going to be destroyed. In my next video about the actual tariffs and how China is fighting back, China is going to be destroyed by these tariffs, and they know it. But right now, they're just doubling down. Every time something comes at them, they just double down because they're stubborn and they're used to winning. But let's see here. I'm going to go to you know what? Let's go ahead and finish the definitions, and then I'll go to the chat. Okay. And my sinuses are acting weird. And sorry, no fancy T-shirt today because we woke up and it was 34, feels like 24. What in the hey is going on here? Ah, that's for you. Anywho, let's go ahead and finish up the definitions. So the next one in the cycle is hyperinflation. This is the one that everybody should be very scared of. Hyperinflation is an extreme and rapid increase in the price of goods and services in an economy, often exceeding 50% per month, leading to a dramatic loss of purchasing power and erosion of confidence in currency. This typically arises when a government excessively prints money to finance deficits, often in response to severe economic stress, such as war, political instability, or mismanagement. This flood of currency devalues it as more money chases the same amount of goods. Root causes include reckless fiscal policies, central bank overexpansion of money supply, which we've already experienced, supply chain disruptions we've experienced, or loss of public trust in the economic institution, which we had already but are now building back, which can spiral into a feedback loop where prices soar and the currency becomes nearly worthless. We saw this in old school Germany. What was that? Pre-World War I Germany, I think. If you guys know the name of what was it? Weimister? Or put it in the chat. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right. So the next thing is recession. Now, we keep hearing about the recession. So let's go. Yeah, I have a brief description of a recession so that you understand it. Now, a recession is a period of economic decline characterized by significant drop in economic activity, typically measured by a decrease in GDP or gross domestic product, basically what we make. Also, rising unemployment and reduced consumer spending. So, if we stop spending money, we could literally go into recession. In the video that I'm going to be making later on, it talks about how China has told America, oh, by the way, we're not taking any more of your chickens anymore because we don't want your bird flu. Okay, so everybody go buy some freaking chicken, support America. There, problem solved. Its root cause often includes a combination of factors such as high inflation, eroding purchasing power, tight monetary policies like rate hikes, reducing investment and borrowing, or external shocks like financial crises, supply chain disruptions, or geopolitical events. These triggers, they can create a cycle where businesses cut back on producing and hiring, which is what China will be feeling shortly, and they know it. Consumers spend less due to uncertainty or financial strain, and overall economic momentum stalls, amplifying the downturn. So basically, so we could be seeing a recession, but if we do see one, it probably won't be that bad because I honestly believe that people will stop. We can't say we're in a recession. It's kind of like if you're built like, an Olympic athlete, but you weigh 3,000 pounds, does it really matter what your weight is? The same thing with recessions. If you're still putting food on the table, if you're still if you're still putting gas on the car, if you're still working, if you could still afford the things that you need to survive, does it really matter that we're in a recession because you can't buy a Chinese trinket? No, it does not. And I think it has a lot to do with the mindset of Americanism that you're going to have that we had during the 40s and 50s so that that basically made our country as strong as it is. All right, so now the one that everybody's scared of, a depression. All right. Now, a depression is a severe and prolonged economic downturn characterized by a significant decline in economic activity, high unemployment, reduced consumer spending, and falling productions. Its root causes often involve a complex interplay of factors such as uh, collapse in demand due to financial crisis, bursting assets bubbles like housing or stock markets, which are on the verge. The housing market is about to pop, guys, because you hear me talk about this all the time. How in the last, since 2019, did we go for what, 5 years now? 6 years, something just happened. Something just happened. I don't know what that was. Something made a noise. I think somebody joined or something. I can't tell. Um, but you can't take a property that went from $160,000 to $250,000 and go, how'd that happen? Yeah, the market, there's a bubble. So getting back on target, excessive debt, accumulation, or policy failures like tight monetary conditions or inadequate government response. Now, some external shocks, such as wars or pandemics, can also trigger or exasperate depressions. These factors erode confidence, disrupt investment, and create a vicious cycle of reduced spending and economic contraction that can persist without significant intervention. All right. So with all that said, we just spent 20 minutes giving you guys all the definitions that everybody's talking about on the mainstream media, Fox, CNN. I mean, you name it. They're all using these same terms. So you should be able to understand them. And if you do not, then you can always come back to this video and get the details. All right. Looks like Cuck V just showed up. I'm going to go ahead and scroll back up because you guys were posting your brains out. Let's see here. Your sound exploded. Let's see here. Sounds much better. I prefer. Hey, girlfriend. These countries seem to be refusing to accept. We did that. Let's see. It's Jesse. Let's see. I didn't name myself when I was born. Okay. All right. Let's see. Bradley says tariffs are because the GDP has been held up a lot by government jobs, and thus we are spending more than the deficit, kind of like credit and card living. Yes. You know, there should never be a country that has more government jobs than civilian jobs. I mean, of the government, by the government, and for the government is not in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. At no time were those words ever muttered in our founding documents. So, very true, Brad. Let's see here. Fake money is still fake money, and it always costs more. There, that's true. That's true. We got here brainwash. I don't know what that is. Rose says, when did the cheap stuff switch from Japan to China? We accept it more readily from Mexico or Taiwan. We get it from every direction. We get it from every direction. They do make a good amount of the cheap stuff in Mexico as well. I remember that used to be a huge thing when I was coming up, like the 80s and 90s. Made in Taiwan was huge. But then they started making chips and stuff, so they stopped doing that crap. Um, Brad says they're trying to fix the issue of basic basically for every bond they try to pay off, it takes a bond and a half. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I've told you before. I honestly think that Trump is trying to crash the market to push people into the bond markets, and then also force the Fed to let us refinance some stuff to save the American people some money. Let's see here. Things made by Japan were actually of quality. That's true. That's true. Um, let's see here. 37 feel like 27 right. 37 feels like 27 right now in central Indiana. I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, that's right. The Weimar province. There you go. Weimar Republic. There you go. Good job, Oops and Tuck. Good, good, good. Ian, it's about 44. Let's see. Francs or marks. There we go. We're too much. Europe powers did the same to Europe. I wish I could force my debt on foreign entity. Yeah, exactly right. Um, what's the only corporation that never made a profit but is still in business? Um, the only corporation. Well, I don't know about corporation, but you could always say Amtrak. You could say U.S. Postal Service. Let's see. Everybody's saying good morning. Number one president who got most debt. Who got most debt? Biden number Trump. I don't know. We're going to have to work on your concise statements, Guckfee. We're going to have to work on them. No tariff fee yet on Oreos. More on your Discord. There you go, Broseph. Yeah, if you guys don't know this, if you're not a member, you don't know. But we have a thriving Discord community that is for members only, and so yeah, if you want in, there's a link in the description. Be a doomsday prepper. You get access to everything. No crazy levels where I only just do this, that, and the other thing. You just get access. All right. You know what I also forgot to do, guys? I forgot to put the where are we at here? You have to excuse me. I'm sorry. I failed to put the poll question in the chat. I'm doing that right now. It's a 6-step process where I copy and paste everything that I prepared into the YouTubes because the YouTubes doesn't have the capability for me to do this early enough. I don't know. Some things are good, some things suck about YouTube, but it is what it is. It's a company that lets us use their shit for free. Okay, let's see. So we got that right there. That one just got done. So the poll is, which is the biggest sign of collapse? And we haven't even talked about that yet. And so it is what it is. You guys don't have to answer yet, but it is what it is. Also, I think we missed out yesterday, so I'm just going to do five at $5, and we're going to set it for 1 hour. And let's see here. You know what happens. You know what happens. There we go. There we go. So if we hit the goal, we hit the goal. If we don't, we don't. I am not going to complain either way. All right. So let's see here. Jesse says, we just got word that a farm assistance with crop failure program we have used for USDA was defunded. But I think it is for the general good of the country. So we need to take steps to not need it. Yes. Yes. Thursday's hat day. Thursday's hat day. Today's not Thursday. Today's Wednesday. I'm probably going to have to do it. I forgot. Like I said, I only do the donation thing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I missed out yesterday, so all the above. Oh, Pilgrim, you don't get to rewrite the questions. I figure it was my time. It was your time. Then it's our time. All right, let's go. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and talk briefly about Venezuela's economic turmoil, and it's been widely discussed. It continues to evoke panic with every shift in the U.S. dollar exchange rate. In October of 2024, the rate rose by 13%, prompting renewed migration considerations among citizens. This is why we're getting so many Venezuelans here in America now. Despite single debt economic growth, inflation reached 50%, measured in U.S. dollar terms, within the year. Now, oil production inched up for yet inflation 15% since 2022. It actually kind of looms large, So some key indicators of collapse span economic, social, political, and environmental domains, and we're going to go ahead and get into those now. Let me scroll up here on this side. I'm a one-man band. All right. All right. So economic indicators, Um, Hyperinflation is where currency value plummets uncontrollably, devastating Venezuela's post 2015, erasing wealth and living standards with no recovery in sight. The phenomena, self evident in its destruction, requires a little elaboration. So, commodity shortages like food, fuel, water, they're kind of a hallmark of that situation. Now, currently, Venezuela supermarkets brim with goods. They've, often imported, but affordability remains elusive for most. So they've got lots of stuff to sell, but all the prices are too high. Yeah. And this is because of mass unemployment, where large swaths of the workforce can't find jobs matching their skills. This triggers a cascade, reducing spending, businesses close, and a shrinking tax base. And this is going to spiral into recession or depression. It's unsustainable national debt exceeding repayment capacity forces governments to prioritize debt servicing over healthcare or education, depending on societal woes. Financial market collapse, evidenced by crashing stocks and eroding trust in banks. It signals a broader economic peril as depicted in fictional portrayals where market uh, charts foretell boom, and we all see that. We can go to any platform that has anything to do with the news or economy, news of the day, tariffs, red versus blue, and you're all going to see these charts where there are all lines going everywhere, and you know, um, it's kind of amazing how it's actually happening because these economic indicators, the should be something that we're paying attention to. Okay, we have not gotten there. Obviously, our biggest example of total economic crash is Venezuela. Like, no one understands because they couldn't understand it real time. The Weimar stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's just a piece of history. People quote it, lots of numbers, but nobody can actually understand it because it's not something that they've lived. It didn't happen in our generation. So Venezuela is going to be our best example. I feel like we're getting so many Venezuelans because of that TV show, 90 Day Fiance. Oh my God. I watched the first few seasons of that, but after that, it was the same old crap. It was just the same old crap. Um, all right, so let's talk about social indicators now. Increased violence, crime, unrest, or state of a basically what you would call state-sponsored pacification. These signals or these signals they signal what's the words I'm looking for here? Societal fracture. Now, waiting for this type of chaos is unwise. Prudent individuals assess whether to relocate early or fortify their homes for safety. An example of this is Cuba's collapse. Now, Cuba's collapse with over 1 million immigrants in 2023 exemplifies this stage. Mass migration, a visible and painful marker. It reflects on unlivable conditions driving people to move abroad. The family breakdown. It's fueled by poverty, depression, and substance abuse. It compounds social decay. Infrastructure collapse. What am I doing here? Something's wrong. Something's wrong, or maybe not. Infrastructure collapse. Um, we're failing electricity, water, or sanitation is going to disrupt your daily life, while eroding trust in government and institutions undermines cohesion. This is a trend traceable to Venezuela, to decades-old political influences, basically where the Venezuela rotted from the inside out. They rotted from the inside out. And that's something that we have to keep a very hard eye on. We have to keep a very hard eye on. So let's go to the poll real quick and see what we got. We got 14 votes at what is the biggest sign of collapse? 71% say hyperinflation, 21% say infrastructure failure, 7% say political instability, and 0% say mass migration. I would take a look at the UK though. A lot of people in the UK don't want to hear this, but things are they're no bueno there because of mass migration. All right, let's see here. System failure. Light Raider Shop, good morning. This word is wrong. Skanes Girl said, this world is wrong. That's what. Good morning, Skanes Girl. Good morning. Let's see. Doing the thing here too. Got you, Pilgrim. I don't know what that means. Only need season one, then start from season two to know the reality. Show will just to be a repeat. There you go. Angie says, taking supplies out of the country. No internet for a week. We'll miss your channel. Topics. Hey Frosty. Oh, Angie is taking supplies out to the country. I got you. So she's going to her bug out location for a whole week. Angie, why do you not have Starlink? Why do you not have Starlink? I don't know if we can go with a week without you, Angie. This is a bunch of bull. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Minority Reporter, good to see you, bro. It says it's all the deep state's fault. I don't know if we can blame them because the deep state really does like the norms. They're just really easy to to blame. Um, if you're not aware, the Democrats have decided to set up a shadow government. But they're doing it in plain sight, like dum dums, and then just like saying, "Well, it's been working for years in the England or in the UK now." Yeah, no, it's not. It's never worked. It's always been just a way to try and screw with the government. But I'll be doing a video on that here shortly too. It's difficult finding a good information on it. So Starlink is a must for where I live. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you better have Starlink. Dang it. Nothing tyrannical about that. All right, so let's see. Before we do that, guys, we've reached the halfway point in the show where we go. If you love your country, put one in the chat. Okay. And I'm going to drink some coffee, and I'm going to talk some smack. Oh yeah, I'm going to read you some good stuff because this is an educational channel, and I'm going to pay the bills. You know what? I'm going to do this one again like I did yesterday. I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Guys, I'm going to talk to you about Parcel Safety today because they are the best priced field protective masks on the market that will do the job that you need it to do. So, after yesterday's story where I read you the email that I sent off to the other company, Mira Safety, who makes freaking awesome gear. They really make awesome gear. Okay. I received a reply. I don't know that I would classify it as snarky, but I would say that it was an attempt to redirect my attention back to their gear because, oh, we just recently found out that it's made in China. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's great. But unfortunately, they're not made in America either. I won't even say which country they're made in, but I won't say they're made in America either. They did not go full retard and try to tell me that it's substandard or on par equipment, but they did recognize that price point was an issue and that I was balancing quality versus quantity. And so it was kind of a very weird email. But the bottom line was I replied back and literally let them know that I agreed with what they were saying, that they make the top of the line quality. I even told them that they make the best product on the planet. Okay. I even told them that. But I also told them that they just frankly charge too much. And that, oh, by the way, there was a little bit of an argumentative statement in there about CBRN, NBC. It's a CBN environment, and I reminded them that the possibility of the United States being coming under attack of a nerve agent, a blood agent, or a blister agent was almost zero because you never take the you never play with the laws of probability, okay? But it was basically zero. All right. Um, and that a simple P100 mask with the P101 filters by partial safety would easily take care of every 99.9% of all irradiated particulates. Um, and yeah, so we don't need the N or the B or the C, you know what I'm saying? And I got an email back saying thank you. So there we go. There we go. Now, if you guys still want to go buy some mirror safety stuff, there's a link in my description for that. Whatever you want to do. But I'm promoting partial safety today because there is a balance between cost, okay, and benefit with partial safety that you're not going to find with any other gas mask companies. If you want to go to Amazon and buy yourself a $35 gas mask, you go right ahead. Guess what? You can put the partial safety thing right on it. But I won't give you a link for that because there's a difference. There's a difference. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Now that we've updated all of that stuff, I want to thank Ian. Okay, I'll be first. Need the helmet. Ah, I see. Ian, good to go, bro. Good to go. All right, so we are back on track. And of course, the chat has disappeared from my live stream. So if you guys want to see that on the side of the screen, you're going to have to go and that kind of stuff. But Ian, thank you very much. I got to get in there real quick before it all disappears. Everybody, make sure you give EM a thumbs up. And man, there we go. Get in there. Get in there and give him a thumbs up on that $5 super chat he just threw at me. Someone really wants to see the hat. It's right up there. It's right up there. All right, let's see here. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get back on point. And we've got a few votes. We'll talk about those views so that we're up to 22 now. Right now, hyperinflation is winning at 64%. Take some coffee. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. And we're going to get back on point. So now let's talk about the political indicators to pay attention to. So political instability is going to be marked by weak governance or frequent regime shifts, and this is going to foster uncertainty. Now, corruption, which we saw in the last administration, pervasive across government levels. That's basically the Obama 2.0 or Biden. That is what we talk about corruption, which is pervasive across government levels. This is going to exacerbate the crisis. Human rights abuses, which we haven't seen. Tailed speech, which is what they tried. Political persecution, which we saw going after, basically trying to jail Captain Red Tie. Or state violence, which I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're going to be there for a long damn time. But these indicate authoritarian entrenchment. These are going to further destabilize society. So those are the things you want to keep an eye out when we talk about political indicators. Now, another indicator is environmental indicators. Okay, and I'm not talking about Greenpeace or chugging trees or whatever. Okay, but environmental degradation, including pollution, deforestation, strained ecosystems. Resource depletion is probably more important than anything else. Particularly with water and energy. This is going to limit sustainability, which is really a bad thing. Blaine, I'll help out. Let me hit that like. Let me hit that heart. Blaine, so close. All right, let's see here. But yeah, we're getting so close, so close. All right, let's see. Repent, Jesus is coming. A sword. I really need a sword every time he shows up. Can I use this? No. Actually, it's a tripod. It's just a tripod, guys. See, it's just a tripod. Anyway, I really need a sword every time he shows up. Love you, man. I love you. And that's better than the last time. He's like, uh, Jesus is coming. One, no, you're starting to make him sound like freaking what is it? The guy who shows up at the party who was uninvited. I mean, come on. Yeah, yes, Jesus loves me. This I know, for the Bible tells me so. That's right. I went there too. Okay, let's see here. A trident. I need a trident. Yeah, but then they're going to be too small and not like. I want it to be like a real pointy trident. You know what I'm saying? You know, I thought we all had swords. My I love Jesus T-shirt keeps me safe. There you go. Okay, attitude just pushed us one step closer. Everybody give Catitude a thumbs up. We gotta hit that. Oh, it's getting scary. I always try to put two R's in scary. I don't know why. I want it to be like scary. All right, let's see here. Let's let's see here. Jesus never left. He has always been with us. That's true. That's true in our hearts. In our hearts. Let's see here. I need to get me a T-shirt like that, Jesse. I need to get a T-shirt like that. Let's see here. Okay, so let's get back on point because we were talking about environmental indicators. Like nobody, it's like the environment. No one wants to talk about the environment. The environment of indicators, they're there. They can cause problems too. We can't just ignore these indicators. Okay, so natural disasters, they're kind of growing in frequency and intensity, but we know that's a cycle thing too. But you know what? That cycle could hit right when things are really bad and make things really bad. And it's going to amplify some vulnerabilities, interacting with indicators to worsen the outcomes. Now, these indicators, they all interweave, amplifying one um, another. Now, collapse unfolds gradually, not as a Hollywood style apocalypse where society shifts overnight from normalcy to chaos. Understanding these signs equips individuals to mitigate risk. And when we talk about this subject, we should always avoid political advocacy. We need to be focusing on, instead of on awareness. Conflict need not be need not be formally declared. It can emerge through economic and social erosion. Oh my God, we're getting there. Social erosion, observing actions over biased media narratives, and it fosters a clearer understanding. Now, with that said, as usual, we're going to go and get into some recommendations. And Bradley would have been the shit, but that beat me. Oh, the turd. There we go. Uh, 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 shaking in my boots. Boom. There we go. We're gonna see who's got the sack to make the hat come out. All right. So I'm gonna drink a little coffee and laugh at you a little bit. Wow. By the way, guys, an early preview. I'm going to start working on some of these video introductions, where I'm like in like a fancy place, and like I'm going to have like a smoking jacket and a really fancy pipe, and we're just hello. I've been dreaming this up. It hasn't happened yet. But these things, they come together very slowly, very meticulously, so that they're perfect. All right, let's see. JP says, if the environment is always such a problem, we should abolish all environments. Think of all the money the world could save. 100%, Jesse. 100%. Oh, ban all environments. The environment is bad. It's always causing problems, trouble. All right, so recommendations for preparedness. Okay, and as usual, we're going to expand on some of the stuff that we've talking about. Like recognizing early. I thought something just happened. Recognizing early warning signals. Oh boy, Bradley, you just did it. Boost. Poof. We want the hat. Oh my God. This thing is really weird. It's hitting faster. Oh, here comes the hat. Um, right. All right, hold on a second. You'd think I'd keep it closer, but oh. The grand poobah of preparedness has emerged. Oh, what the people want is what the people get. But I'm still teaching class. Class is still in, you mofos. Okay, so what we have to do is make sure that we're recognizing early warning signs. It's the first step. Proactive measures can mitigate risk and enhance resilience. you know we're going to talk about some expanded recommendations that are tailored to individuals and communities facing potential economic and social collapse. you know what's that say? The information comes in so much clearer with the hound. You Do I have your attention now? Are you not entertained? I could have done that much louder, but I'm already having enough sound problems. All right, so first one. You guys are going to hate me for saying this, but build financial resilience. You need to diversify your income sources to reduce dependencies on a single employer or currency. This might include side hustles. I've got a side hustle. I start on the 21st. It's going to be really cool. Freelancing or investing in stable assets like precious metals or cryptocurrencies were legal and feasible. Maintain a cash reserve in multiple currencies to hedge against hyperinflation. For example, in Venezuela, those with access to US dollars or other foreign currencies fared better during hyperinflation peaks. Budgeting for essentials and cutting non-critical expenses is going to preserve resources for emergencies. Did my voice resonate with you based off? It's like, how are you? I'm doing super duper. All right, let's see here. I agree. Yes, it does. Facts on facts. Yes, build financial resiliency or end up like me. Tuck, you're good to go, bro. You're good. You're breathing air. You're drinking water. You're pooping poop, and you're alive, man. You're alive. As long as you woke up able to breathe air and walk straight and drive a car, America, you're good to go. Silver's down by the dip. Ooh, down by what? It was up to like 35. What's it at now? I bought silver when it was like $16 an ounce. And so what's it at now, Pilgrim? Jesse says, I'm working on multiple streams of income right now. Invested 2.5K in Robinhood with the autopilot app. So far, I'm up $55 without doing anything. 55 more than I had. Exactly. 55 more than I had. I didn't breathe air today. You are a superhuman if that's the case, Tuck. You have zero complaints, Broseph, if you didn't breathe air today. I mean, come on. Come on. 3060-ish in ST Bullion. Oh, man. If it goes back down lower than that, I mean, I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. I just buy it and store it and don't really pay attention to it. But, if I like, maybe I'll break out my silver and play with it a little bit. I really would like to buy silver coins more than silver. What do they call them? Nuggets? Not nuggets. The little rectangles of silver. I buy those. Number one, live within your means. 100% West Virginia, Pappy. 100%. 100%. P.S. Hopefully you're okay, man. I mean, I saw you in the Discord and everything, but you don't talk very much anymore. You're just busy prepping. I believe it. All right, so the next one. Stockpile essential supplies. Accumulate a 3 to 6 month supply of non-perishable food, water, and medical necessities. rotate stock to ensure freshness, and prioritize nutrient dense items like rice, beans, and canned goods. In Venezuela, shortages made such reserves critical, as even well stocked materials were inaccessible to those without funds. Include barterable items like batteries or hygiene products, which retain value in a crisis. Learn basic water purification techniques, such as boiling or using portable filters to address potential infrastructure failures. Um, you know, um, the dumbest thing should be done. Uh, 2 days ago, we woke up and the water was off. What the hell? We normally get emergency stuff from the town. I went to the basement. It was not flooded. So it's like, what's going on here? And then about an hour later, it came back on. So like 7:30 in the morning. But I had already went and got the emergency water for washing and cooking. You know what I'm saying? Those old bottles of water that you have stuffed in the closet that you haven't touched in 6 months. That's what I'm talking about. You know, and I had already washed up, got ready for the day, started some coffee, and so it didn't really impact us. But that feeling that you get in your guts when the water doesn't has any hey, if you've experienced that, like you wake up in the morning or whatever and you go and you turn the faucet and nothing comes out, do you get like that little twist in your belly, that little twist in your guts? If that's the case, put a one in the chat. Not a joke. It's a human emotion. It's like, this didn't work. Whether you're prepared or not, you probably still feel it. I'm very curious. Let's see here. Stray Kitten, good to see you, girl. Good to see you, girl. I found a cream that's really helping my feet. Okay, maybe it would help with arthritis too. That's possible. Ingots, thank you, Miko. Appreciate you. I like the buffalo rounds, but I don't have the coins because I want to play with them and I don't want to like varnish them. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's see here. My second life said, "Who wants to laugh? Who wants to laugh?" I have well over a year's worth of food stocked, only to find out a few months ago that I have celiac disease. Oh my God! Oh no, dude! Oh, that is awful! Wow, that's awful. If you guys don't know what celiac disease is, wow, you got to look it up. You got to look it up, man. I'm not even religious, and you're getting prayer hands. We need to get some prayer hands out there for my second life. Seriously, go find that little. I'm finding it right now. I'm finding it right now. Pray, because that is the least that I can do. That is the least that I can do. Oh wow, I have a friend of the family has celiac disease, and it's it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, guys. Especially if you like it's like I can't even totally describe it because it's kind of like being like, you know, it's like a million times worse than being lactose intolerant. Like only certain foods these people can eat, and a lot of them are not long-term storage foods. That's crazy. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Miko says you can find constitutional silver in your pocket change, 64 down in the dollar, coins, half dollars, quarters, and dimes. I've thought about buying a bag of silver coins, just regular old American silver coins, but I just don't feel like that's going to be the thing. You know what I'm saying? If everything goes to hell in a handbasket, people are going to be like, yeah, that's great. That's great. Those are great. Whatever. Thanks. But when you got like, silver coin, you know what I'm saying? 100% silver, 99.9% pure silver on it. You know what I'm saying? Then people are going to be like, oh, okay. Let's see here. Tuck says, I have celiac. My wife doesn't. Does make prepping a bit more challenging. Very true. Very true. Jesse says, if I had that, I would not last long. I love my bread and pasta. I know, right? It's interesting. It's interesting. Okay, so let's get back on point. We're running out of time here. We're actually probably going to go over by a few minutes, but um, let's go and let's talk about developing self-sufficiency skills. Now, Acquire practical skills like gardening, basic repairs, or first aid to reduce reliance on external systems. Urban gardening, even in small spaces, can supplement food supplies. The Venezuelans turned to rooftop gardens during shortages. Skills like sewing or mechanical repair extend the life of goods. If you don't believe me, ask the Cubans who are still driving cars from the 1950s. And of course, saving money. First aid training prepares individuals for medical emergencies when hospitals are overwhelmed or inaccessible. A common issue is, and this is a common issue in collapsing states. Um, Anyone know what? What I always wondered what the pointer was made of in gold and silver. Just tin and copper. Okay, thank you. There you go. Answered questions, questions answered. This is the kind of conversation that we have all the time inside the members group. If you're not part of the members group, you should really look into it because, like, Jesse just asked a question, and then, I mean, I'm only here from 10 to 11, right? But that question could have been answered instantly in the members only Discord. Yeah. Just saying, just saying. Networking, networks. So form alliances with neighbors or local groups for mutual support. Communities that shape resources or share resources, like tools, skills, or childcare, they fare much better in a crisis. In Venezuela, bartering networks emerged organically as currency lost value. Established communication plans such as group chats or radio systems to coordinate during unrest or infrastructure failures. Trustworthy networks provide emotional and practical support. This is going to counter the isolation of social breakdown. Another thing, it was answered. It was answered instantly. Yes, it was from 10 to 11. So if you want to wait that long, go ahead. All right. So you also need to plan for mobility, whether we like it or not. You always have to have bug out. Look, the bug out plan in the back of your head, even if you have no plans to go anywhere. Or you could stay and die. Evaluate options for relocation if conditions deteriorate beyond safety. You want to identify safer regions or even countries in advance. You want to go ahead and research the legal requirements like visas. You want to maintain a go bag with essentials, documents, cash, medications, for rapid departure. In Cuba and Venezuela, those who planned early avoided the chaos of mass migration waves. If staying, fortify your home with reinforced locks, backup power, or water storage to bug in safely during unrest. And something else we can do is stay informed, but discerning. You want to be monitoring economic and social trends through diverse sources. You want to avoid reliance on mainstream media, which may obscure or sensationalize issues. You want to track local indicators like price increases or crime rates. In Venezuela, citizens learn to read exchange rate shifts as a signal to act. You want to be able to cross-reference online platforms, including X posts for real-time sentiment, but verify claims against primary data like government reports or international organizations, because those are always just chock full of great information, right? Um, and one of the last things we want to talk about is you need to protect mental and physical health. Now, prioritize well-being to maintain decision-making capacity under stress. If you are not in good health, your decision-making is going to be flawed. If you're not mentally strong, your decision-making is going to be flawed. So it's both mental and physical, okay? And this is going to affect your capacity under stress. Now, regular exercise, get out there and get your steps in, guys. Adequate sleep and stress reduction practices like maybe meditation, build resilience, take some melatonin, In a collapsed societies, mental health issues like depression spiked. Proactive self care mitigated this. An example here in America was the thing we can't talk about, the pandemic, and how it basically wrecked our kids' mental health. We also want to have secure access to medications or supplements for chronic conditions, as shortages are common. Choose medical. Think in description. Shameless promotion. All right. So, community activities like group exercises or shared meals reinforce social bond and morale. You should be sitting down, if you can, each night with your family to eat supper without your damn phones. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna drink a little coffee. I think we've had a pretty good live stream today. I'm gonna go to the chat. It's been a while since I looked at the chat, which is really weird. Um, let's see. It was answered instantly. Become a member, but my husband doesn't trust me with the debit card on my own. Oh my goodness. Why don't you have your own debit card, Jesse? Anyway, it is what it is. Everybody's got their own relationship guardrails. Um, Rose says, "May I make one suggestion?" Sure. Let's read this. Try getting some fresh wheat berries and grind them. Make something of the ground flour, biscuits or whatever. If no response, it could be a response to the sour wheat germ. That's interesting, Rose. That's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. But be ready. That's going to be your workout because grinding wheat is no fun. Let's see here. Pilgrim says, I can't condone giving 40% to the Google overlords. That is completely false. That is not the amount of money that the Google overlords get. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Rose says flour contains wheat germ, which can sour and cause issues for some people. There you go. Jesse P says, where'd it go? Hard red, hard white for bread, soft white for cookies, cakes. Also, you really need to spend more time developing the gluten. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Stray Kitten says, Ian, oh, what do you mean post 1964 doesn't have any silver? Correct. Bradley Collins says, keeping a currency in line with value of something like gold or silver are great till all the gold and silver are owned, making it more expensive. But blockchain keeps it in check. Yes, there's something to be said for cryptocurrency, guys. And yes, I know there's a difference between blockchain and cryptocurrency. Blockchain just controls the currency. All right, let's see here. Actor 64, no silver. Let's see. Stifler, shut up. What's going on, bro? Stifler's always a problem, isn't he? Pop in and say hi. Stay prepping. Be lean and know that Linktree is anti to Linktree is anti to everybody's anti 2A. Patreon is anti 2A. Let's see, Stray Kitten 30%, Pilgrim Rose, approximately 40% of all YouTube membership goes to Google. That is not even close to being right. You know what? We're going to ask Rock. I'm going to find out right now. What percentage of YouTube memberships go to Google? Let's see here. What's this? What is this? That is not. That sounds like rhetoric. Let's see here. Okay, so YouTube channel memberships involve a revenue split where the creator receives 70% to the net revenue after taxes and fees, meaning Google retains 30%. We're using their stuff for free, man. Nothing's free. So 40 is wrong. 40 is wrong. 30 is good. All right, let's see here. Maybe it's the way you worded comment. I think that you're saying where 364 has more than post. Yeah, no. Basically, they stopped putting silver inside of our coins after 1964. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. And I don't care if Google gets my money because, Google lost $1 trillion last week. So I don't care. You think they care about the 30% of I think it's $4.99 that you have to pay to be part of a membership? I mean, come on, man. That's That's right up that's right up there with I don't use phones because they're tracking me. Even flip phones these days have GPS in them, and they do track you. They track everything. That's how they geofence all this stuff. Anyway, I was off 10%. I don't because I don't deal with Google. There you go. Anyway, Pilgrim. Anyway, it doesn't matter. To each their own. Be adults. Spend your money the way you want to. All right, guys, that's going to be about it. I want to thank you guys for making the magical grand poobah of preparedness here today. I won't ask today, but I might ask tomorrow. We shall find out. Got to go mow grandma's lawn today in 30-degree weather. That's always fun. And I think that's going to be about it. That's going to be about it. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. It helps. It's free and it's good for me. So stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye.